Okay, so I'm going to share my strategy for expired listings. This is a great source of leads for those of you that want to target this group of sellers. I love expired listings, but you definitely need to understand um, the mindset and the position that the seller, the person that you're talking to, is in. So imagine that you were super excited to sell your house. You had the meeting with the agent, you went through all the things, prepped the house, got it ready, were envisioning the next place that you were going to move to, got your house listed, and then 90 days later, it's still for sale. You would probably be frustrated, upset, angry, um, maybe sad, a mix of a whole emotions. Well, that's what the person on the other end of the phone just went through. Maybe longer on the market, but for most part, we know that they've been on the market at least 90 days. Also, when they first expire, that's when they're going to get the most amount of phone calls from agents. So agents like yourselves, they subscribe to a service. It gets phone numbers for all the listings that expire. And so now the seller's phone is ringing off the hook. Here they are, frustrated, upset that it didn't work out. And now everyone is calling them. So when we keep that in mind, that's where I want to change the approach. A lot of agents are going to call and say, I saw um, that your house just expired off the MLS, and I'm calling to share how I get houses sold that didn't sell the first time, right? That's a very basic script that a lot of agents use. So I want to be a little bit different. I want to do a pattern interrupt. And I'm also going to use a lot of mirror and matching skills in this time type of phone call. I want to get into rapport with the person on the other end of the phone. And so I'm going to match the energy that's coming at me. So my favorite opening for an expired call is when they pick up the phone. I'm going to call and say, hi, is this Susie? When they answer, they're going to say, yes, right? Because most of the time they've gotten more calls before me. Uh, or they might not pick up the phone, which we'll go over that part next. So say they pick up the phone, you're going to verify that, you're talking to the owner. So they say, yes, this is Susie. They say, great. I'm so glad I reached you. I was calling about the house for sale. Is it still available? Now to this, you're going to get one of two answers. Yes, it's available, or no, it's not. So if yes, it's available, you're going to say, oh, I'm so glad I reached you. My name's Amber. I'm a real estate agent, and I was calling because I noticed that the house just expired. So now I am into that script that everyone else is using, but my opening is different. Uh, Now with that, um, I'm going to also match the energy. So if they're really frustrated, I'm going to get frustrated with them. If they're angry, I'm going to match and like raise my voice and match it back to them. So, Susie answers the phone, hi, is this Susie? Yes, it is. Who's this? Oh, this is Amber. I was just calling to see if the house was for sale. I'm sure you're getting a ton of phone calls that I wanted to see if the house that you had listed was still available. Then I'm going to get that yes or no. Yes. Oh, good. I'm so glad I reached you because, I noticed that it just came off the market and I'm just curious. You are still looking to sell that home. Sell that home, sell your house. All right. So now that we understand the mindset and what might be going on in the person on the other end of the phone, like what they might be thinking and what they're going through. Now we can match our script and our pacing and our energy and voice level to where they're at. So whatever comes at you, that's what you're going to match. So if they're angry, you're going to raise your voice and get a little gruff with your response. You'll be short and direct. If they're, soft spoken, you're going to match that and, talk slower and respond with the same energy that's coming at you. A lot of times they're going to be frustrated because they didn't sell the house and now their phone is ringing and they might even pick up of like, stop calling me. I'm not selling my house. Say, oh, whoa, whoa, I totally get it. I was just calling to see if you still do want to sell that house. So I'm matching that energy and what's coming at me. Once you have that opening and you break the ice, uh, I say, so they say, hello, and I say, oh, is this Susie? Yes, this is Susie. Great. I was calling about the house for sale. Is it still available? That's my opening line. Right now, they're not sure who I am, if I'm an agent, how I got their number, all of those things. So I'm calling about the house for sale. Is it still available? They're going to say yes or no to that question. If it's a yes, you're going to say, oh, good. I'm so glad that you still want to sell your house. And I would love to be able to see if it matches for any of the buyers that I'm working with. I'm a real estate agent. My name is Amber, and I specialize in selling houses that didn't sell the first time, and so I want to be able to stop by and see if I can help you get it sold, and if I actually have a buyer for you. So, are you available later today, or would tomorrow be better for you? Most of the time, you're going to get an objection. Oh, no, I don't want to meet with another agent. Say, okay, I understand. So are you going to sell the house this time on your own? Because you said you still do want to sell it. Now you're into another objection and really finding out what their thought process is. The more you keep them talking, the better. And so once they answer that question of they do want to sell and I give my pitch to meet with them and they say, no, I'm not ready to meet with anyone. I say, I completely understand. You just went through a whole, listing period and it didn't end in the result that you wanted. So tell me a little bit about that experience. Do you guys have showings? Now I'm finding out the traffic patterns. Um, you know, uh, did they have people through? Did you actually get any offers? Did they get offers that were lower? Were they able to get an offer and maybe it fell out for repairs? You're going to find out all kinds of things through these questions. Did your previous agent do any open houses? Talk me through the marketing that was done to get this house sold. And now you're gathering information. So then you're going to say, let me ask you, if you had sold this house, where were you moving to? Now I'm going to dig into the motivation of why they're selling and why it was even on the market in the first place. You're going to use all of these things to get yourself the appointment to meet with them. And so once you have the gather all this information, now you're going to go in for a second appointment or a second try for that appointment of, I understand that you're busy and that you might be frustrated that it didn't sell. And so I promise I won't take too much of your time, but I'd like to stop by and show you what I think went wrong and give you an opinion of how I can get your house sold, because I know you said it was really important to you to get this sold so that you can move into a smaller house. Whatever you found out with the question of where they were moving to and why they were selling it the first time. You're going to use that motivation to be able to drive them to make an appointment with you. I won't take a lot of your time, 30 minutes. I just want to be able to get my eyes on the property and be able to kind of give you my opinion of how you can get this sold and for what price. So you're going to set that appointment. And then you're going to go and now you're into a listing appointment. You're going to bring the comps and all the things. Okay. So that's or a yes, they still want to sell. The next option is no. No, I'm no longer interested in selling. That was a terrible experience and I'm done. Oh, I totally get it. So let me ask you, if you had sold, where were you moving to? So now when you get that no, you're going to take them into what they actually wanted to accomplish, get them into a positive future of they can envision themselves there, they're dreaming again about why they were going to sell. And if that motivation is big enough and that has enough pull for them, then they eventually will sell. Maybe they need to take a month off. Um, but you want to be the agent that's in position for when they do choose to sell. So they say, no, I'm not selling. Say, I get it. I understand that, that didn't work the way that you wanted. And I completely understand wanting to take a break. So, let me ask you, if you had sold, where were you moving to? We're going to gather all those questions about where they're moving to. I wanted to move to Florida to be closer to my grandchildren. Oh, wow. How cool would that be? Where in Florida? Asking more questions, keeping them talking allows you to build rapport. And that's the whole goal of these initial conversations. Once you find out their motivation, you're going to say, you know what, Susie, I understand that you don't want to sell your house right now. And, I don't want to put any pressure on you. However, I would love to just stop by and take a look at your home and, give you what I think the house could sell for, because wouldn't it be great to accomplish your goal and get to Florida to be closer to your grandkids? I'd love just to be able to, give you an opinion of what I think it could sell for, and then you can do what you want with that information. No pressure at all. And I promise I won't take too much of your time. So again, now you're going in for the appointment. I can stop by later today, or would Thursday be better for you? I really like that alternate closing because it's not giving them an option to say no. They have to choose one of the two or say, oh, I'm not available. Okay, well, what about Friday? So that is my favorite script and some of my objection handlers for expired leads. These are a great source of business. You do have to have a little bit thicker skin to deal with a lot of the objections coming at you. Some people are, very upset and angry. You might get told to F off. You might get hung up on a lot. There are people that will relist. Statistically, it shows that an expired listing is going to go right back on the market, um, because they need to sell, or they wouldn't have been on the market in the first time. So you're going to do those initial phone calls, and here is the key. You're going to continue calling every day for the next 10 days. You're going to call, you're going to text. If you have an email somehow, you're going to email. I've had coaching clients in the past that have actually door knocked and shown up at the expired listing when they couldn't get them on the phone. So there's all kinds of approaches to this type of lead. But the key is going to be that initial phone call and then making sure that you follow up, follow up, follow up. And if you'd like my follow up process, just reach out to me. My email is coachambery@gmail.com. I'd love to do a deeper dive with you into these types of calls. We can do a role play session back and forth so you can practice your objections, and I'll give you my follow up process. I hope that you found today's script practice and objection handling on expired helpful. I wish you all the success. Happy lead generating.